Broncos have secured the #1 seed and now get to rest up and just watch the wild card round. Let's do some pick'em. What's up, Broncos country? My name is Brandon Gilchrist. After our Broncos got the job done in week 18, they're now resting up to get ready for the divisional round, and that means we get to just have a little bit of fun here. And I thought, why not do a little bit of wild card round pick'em and talk about how I think the results are going to match up. Not necessarily what I want to happen, but what I think is going to happen. So let's just get right into it. Starting with the first matchup on Saturday with the Rams at the Panthers. The Rams in the season 12-5, and the Panthers come limping in to the playoffs, winning the NFC South at 8-9, tied with two other teams in that division, which is just wild. When we look at the Rams offense versus the Panthers defense, the Rams in the season as the #1 offense in the NFL. They'll be going against the Panthers' 16th ranked defense. The Rams are also #1 in scoring, averaging 30.5 points a game. When we take a look at the Rams defense versus the Panthers offense, the Rams defense ended 17th in the league, and the Panthers offense ended up 27th. So you've got a mismatch there. The Rams defense is actually ranked 3rd in the red zone, only allowing about 46.2 touchdown conversion. The Panthers offense, whether that's passing or rushing, is really just right down the middle or in the back half of the rankings. So this really is a tough matchup here, and frankly, the Panthers are limping into this one. Now, what's interesting about this matchup is the Panthers and the Rams met earlier this season in week 13, and the Panthers are actually able to get away with a win, but I don't think that's going to be the case this time around. Now, the Rams have to travel to Carolina for this one, and there is weather in the forecast. It looks like it's going to rain, so that could be advantage Panthers considering the Rams are a dome team. The Panthers come into this contest mostly healthy, and it looks like the Rams will finally be getting back Devontae Adams, which will be a big boost for their offense, and Matthew Stafford. That being said, I really just think the Rams have too much firepower and are too stout on defense. Couple that with the fact that they're going to want to get some payback for that win that the Panthers stole early in the season, and I think this one is absolutely going to end up being the Rams. Then we have our Saturday night matchup, and this one should be a good one. It'll be the Packers at the Bears. The Packers in the season 9-7-1, unfortunately limping into the playoffs, and the Bears ended the season 11-6. With a surprising loss in week 18, even though they were playing their starters. When we look at the Packers offense versus the Bears defense, the Packers are really middle of the road when it comes to their offense, whether you look at passing or rushing in this one. They average about 23 points a game, and that Bears defense is actually bottom of the pack, allowing offenses to pass on them all over the field. The strength of their defense really lies in their ability to take away the football and continue to give their offense chances. Which brings us to the Bears offense versus the Packers defense. The Bears offense ended the season ranked 6th, while once again the Packers defense ended up right in the middle of the road, right in the middle of the pack. A big change happening when they lost Micah Parsons in their contest versus the Broncos. We'll give the advantage here to the Bears offense. These two teams really are just evenly matched when you look across the board. Because this is a division match, this will be the third time that these two teams have seen each other this season, each of them walking away with a win. The Bears having the most recent win. So this is the rubber match. Now the Bears look like they're going to be getting back Rome Odunze in this one, and the Packers have battled injuries all across the board, but look like they're going to be getting Matthew Golden back, along with linebacker Lucas Van Ness. This one's really a toss-up, but I'm going to lean Bears on this one, but wouldn't be surprised if the Packers walk away with the win as well. Our first matchup on Sunday might be the one I'm most looking forward to, and that's the Bills at the Jaguars. Bills in the season 12-5, and the Jaguars in the season 13-4. When we look at the Bills offense versus the Jaguars defense, Bills offense into the season ranked 4th, which is kind of surprising when you look at the up and down play that they had all season. The strength of this offense really lies in their rushing attack and James Cook. They averaged 159.6 yards a game. So you best believe, even though they're going to be facing the Jaguars and their #1 rushing defense, they're still going to try to run the ball. Overall, the Jaguars defense ended the season ranked 11th, and their biggest strength being their ability to take away the football and give their offenses short fields. When we look at the Jaguars offense versus the Bills defense, the Jaguars offense is really right in the middle of the pack, and their passing attack is actually actually ranked a little bit lower than that. The strength of their attack really comes from the fact that their defense gives them a lot of short fields, and this team really loves to bait other teams into passing contests because of it. The Bills' defense ended the season ranked in the top 10, surprisingly, with their strength being defending the pass. So this one's a really interesting one when it comes to how these teams are matched up. In the end, this one really looks like a strength-on-strength matchup, and it could be either Trevor Lawrence's feet or Josh Allen's feet that end up being the difference maker in this one. The Jaguars are also carrying an 8-game winning streak into their first playoff contest, but Josh Allen carries the most playoff experience of any quarterback in the postseason this year, including multiple AFC Championship appearances. The Jaguars come into this mostly healthy, while the Bills look like they're going to be getting back tight end Dalton Kincaid, defensive end Joey Bosa, and defensive tackle Daquan Jones, along with safety Jordan Poyer. A key factor in this one could be the foot of Matt Prater, and if he's going to have the ability to go after leaving the game in week 18 with a hamstring injury. Like many of the contests this weekend, this one's a toss-up too. I'm going to lean towards the Bills and Josh Allen's postseason experience being the X factor and difference maker in this contest. Our Sunday afternoon matchup is a good one in the NFC, and that's the 49ers at the Eagles. 49ers in the season 12-5, while the Eagles in the season 11-6. When we look at the 49ers offense versus the Eagles defense, the 49ers offense ended the season ranked 7th, with their passing attack ranked 5th behind Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. Their biggest strength is their ability to convert in the red zone with the creativity that they have with CMC, Juwan Jennings, and George Kittle. The Eagles defense, coordinated by Vic Fangio, is one of the best defenses in the NFL. They end the season ranked 13th. They allow you to move between the 20s, but when it comes to the red zone, that's where they put a stop to an opposing team's offense. This year only allowing 19.1 points a game, which is good for 5th. When we look at the Eagles offense versus the 49ers defense, this is where we start to see a little bit of separation. Though in total yards, the Eagles rank much lower in the NFL, when they get to the red zone, they convert. They finished first in the red zone this season. The 49ers defense has had a lot of key injuries this year, including in their linebacking core. They end the season ranked 20th, with their passing defense being ranked near the bottom and their rushing defense being right in the middle. Now, the Eagles have a lot of weapons, whether it's Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts behind center, Devontae Smith, or A.J. Brown. And the number of injuries that the 49ers have are troubling, and I think they're going to have an issue covering all of those weapons. And I just don't know if their offense can keep up. The difference maker for the 49ers really is going to be Christian McCaffrey. In Week 18, the Eagles focused on making sure that their key starters got rest, while the 49ers were still fighting for playoff seeding. I think at the end of the day, the X factor in this entire game is Jalen Hurts. And I think he's going to be the difference in the Eagles walking away with the win on this one versus the 49ers. Then we have our Sunday night contest. The Chargers at the Patriots. The Chargers end the season 11-6, with the Patriots ending the season 14-3. When we take a look at the Chargers offense versus the Patriots defense, the Chargers offense ended the season 12th. Whether it was passing or rushing, statistically they really ended up about right down the middle. They average about 21.6 points a game. A lot of that comes outside of the red zone, with them converting on long touchdowns. The Patriots defense ended up being top 5 by the end of the season. They're solid in defending the run and pass. Their strength really being in their rushing defense, which is ranked 6th. They also don't allow you to score much on them, only allowing about 19 points a game, which is good for 4th. When we look at the Patriots offense versus the Chargers defense, this is where I think it gets interesting. You hear a lot of arguments about the different opponents that the Patriots faced in order to get to 14-3. And this is definitely the toughest defense the Patriots will have faced so far this season. The Patriots offense really went on a score fest all season. They end the season ranked 3rd in total offense and 2nd in scoring, averaging 28.8 points a game. The Chargers defense ends the season ranked 5th, with their strength really being in their ability to guard the passing attack. So this is an interesting matchup. The Chargers defense is also very good in the red zone, and they can cause chaos and confusion for an opposing quarterback. They're ranked 4th in red zone defense. On top of creating that confusion and chaos, they're very good at taking the ball away. They had 23 takeaways this season. For the Patriots, Drake May's decision making and ability to protect the football is going to be key to them getting walking away with a win in this one. For the Chargers, their physicality and ability to pressure the quarterback and confuse the quarterback is their difference maker, along with Justin Herbert's ability to make plays in the clutch. He's had such a standout season in 2025. He could be the reason the Chargers get over the hump and finally get a playoff win for the first time in years. With that being said, the Chargers' offensive line is decimated. And it's still a question whether running back Omarion Hampton is going to be a go in this one. Couple the fact that the Chargers at this point are a dome team and they'll be traveling to New England where the weather forecast is cold. Both Jim Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel are great coaches and I expect a really tough physical contest. I think it's going to go back and forth. Whoever faces the team that comes out of this with a win is going to be lucky because they're going to be beat up. I'm going to give the edge to the Patriots just because they're playing at home, but I would not be surprised at all if the Chargers walk away with the win on this one. And that means they're coming back to Denver. And then finally, we have our Monday night contest between the Texans at the Steelers. The Texans end the season 12-5 and on a hot streak, and the Steelers barely make it into the playoffs, ending the season 10-7 after a missed field goal in the last second of the game against the Baltimore Ravens in Week 18. When we look at the Texans' offense versus the Steelers' defense, the Texans' offense ended the season ranked 18th. While the Steelers' defense has not been like the old Steelers' defenses, they're towards the bottom of the pack, with their strength really being in their red zone defense. What's interesting about that is, even though the Texans may have a small advantage here, they have trouble scoring in the red zone. So that'll be interesting to see what gives there. When we look at the Steelers' offense versus the Texans' defense, this is where the Texans have the advantage. The Texans defense ends the season ranked number 1 in yards allowed. They also are ranked second when it comes to points allowed this season, only allowing about 17.4 points a game. For the Steelers, their offense ends the season ranked 25th, which is shocking when you think about Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback who's behind the center in that one. What'll be key in this one is the fact that the Steelers will be getting DK Metcalf back after a 2-game suspension. Aaron Rodgers was able to create some magic in Week 18 to pull off that win, but with him getting a weapon back, it'll be interesting to see if the offense will be able to open up at all versus this stifling, suffocating Texans defense. With the Texans being a dome team, it'll be interesting to see how they respond having to travel to Pittsburgh and face that cold. The Texans are currently on a 9-game winning streak, so it'll be interesting to see if they can keep it going in the postseason. And I know the Texans are the darlings of the NFL right now, especially with that defense and CJ Stroud, but this is my shock pick here. I think the Steelers are going to walk away with a win on this one, shocking the NFL for Wild Card Weekend. And I think Aaron Rodgers and his postseason experience are going to be the X factor in this one. All right, that's how I think Wild Card Weekend is going to unfold. How do you think each matchup is going to turn out? Who would you like to see the Broncos matched up against in the divisional round? Me personally, I would take the Chargers or the Steelers. I think the Broncos match up very favorably with either one of those teams, and I think our defense carry us to the win. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, be kind. Have fun watching Wild Card Weekend, Broncos.